On our podcast show this week, we are getting unpacked. Samsung Unpacked is back, summer of 2024.
That's right.
When you are watching this, the event will have already happened last week, and we're just kind of recapping our thoughts on all of the products, which include, because we don't want to bore you if you're not interested in any of these, how about the Universal Translator, which
That's
is
good.
part of their partnership with Google,
Yep.
or how about the fact that they've got a Galaxy Ring. More on that in a little bit. Might be some disappointment from Canadian viewers. How about the Galaxy Buds Pro in 2 flavors? The new Z series, Z6 series of foldables.
Yes, that's right.
The flip and the fold. And we've also got, I think that's basically about it.
Well, they have the watch, the Ultra.
Oh, that's right. They didn't even preamble to that. They definitely have the new watch, which looks peculiarly like someone else's watch. I'm not gonna say who quite yet, but we're gonna get into all of that immediately right now. So first and foremost, for you folks that are trying to pre-order or do any of the sales or anything, hold tight until the end. We have some notes to share about that.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the Galaxy AI ecosystem. It's called now the Galaxy AI ecosystem. I don't think that they've been pandering that around for quite some time now.
Yep.
Because Apple has Apple Intelligence because it's very intellectual.
Intelligent.
Funny way how Apple kind of says it's Apple AI, because AI typically stands for artificial intelligence, and in this case, artificial intelligence itself is is only part of Apple. It's Apple Intelligence, which means that if AI goes off the rails in some way, Apple can walk it back and say, hey, you know what? It's unfortunate how Apple, or fortunately, Apple didn't get involved with the artificial intelligence thing. I mean, Apple AI has always been a cornerstone of our business, and AI was only one portion of that.
Yeah, but really,
So-
it's called Apple Intelligence. It's funny how it's so coincidental. Like, it's like AI, Apple Intelligence, AI as well.
Yeah,
right?
but it's not, because it's Apple Intelligence. So if anything goes wrong, if any controversial things happen with AI, Apple has a bit of a marketing shield because they never actually called it AI. Artificial intelligence is part of it. They made certain that it was an arm's length because they made sure that ChatGPT, hey, if you want to go on to ChatGPT, you can. It's an option.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you go on to our proprietary backend with our servers, et cetera, et cetera.
There's a keyword. It's called contextual. Heard of that?
Yeah.
So contextual meaning it means something to you.
Yes.
It's relevant to you. So that's what they're trying to do now.
Yeah, it's I think it was a smart move for them because AI is still developing. But this is the Samsung show. Let's not talk about Apple so much. And we will harken back to them because there are some similarities in how they are doing things this year at Samsung. So let's get to the very first thing. So Samsung has been really gung-ho about the Samsung Health aspects. They leaked the Ring, and then they announced the Ring.
Yeah, the Ring was...
it was one of the things that was probably one of the biggest parts of their business coming up. And we were wondering, like, okay, first of all, how much is it? Second of all, will they charge a subscription like Oura? Oura charges like $10 US a month for their service, including all the metrics. So when even if Samsung charged $1, it would be better than Oura.
Yeah, well, they announced that they were gonna not charge you at all.
Yes.
There's no subscription.
Yes.
Which is a fantastic offering because you don't have to pay anything extra. You just buy the Ring, hook it up to your phone, and away you go.
Hardware, and you're done, right?
Yeah,
That
yeah.
sounds fantastic, right? I hate paying for so many subscriptions, right?
And when they announced it, it was like everyone was like, whoa, because it was a live audience. And that's
was.
something I really like about the Samsung events recently, is because they have a live audience.
Yes.
Everything is just live. You can see the crowd's reaction. Unlike Apple's, because it's just a presentation, right? With the Ring, when they announced it, it was like, whoa. And I can understand because it's so small.
It is.
It's packed with technology, and
Yes.
it lasts how long?
It lasts 7 days. We'll get into that a little bit more. But one
Right.
thing that really stuck out to me, and that was basically a surefire shot across the bow of Garmin, which is one of the biggest competitors in the smartwatch
Yeah,
space,
yeah.
in the health space. They don't have a Ring right now, But they have something called Garmin battery. I wear a Garmin watch, so I know of this thing. And every time I screw up my sleep patterns or anything like that, it tells me that I need to recharge. Like a battery, right? Everyone understands battery, right? So somehow they've taken all of the aspects of Samsung Health and they've combined it into what they call their own battery rating.
Yeah,
right?
That's right. Yeah.
So it'll tell you based on your metrics, based on your heart rate, based on how you're feeling throughout the day, your mood, your respiratory, your oxygen, etc., heart rate, your heart rate variability, all these aspects. It'll tell you whether or not you should go for that workout or just take a nap. Right? And that is often what Garmin does. So I think that this is a very serious thing that Samsung has done. And I'll talk a little bit more about that when we get to the upcoming watch, which you alluded to. But first of all, the Galaxy Ring, just so you know, if you're in Canada, there's no mention of it on the Canadian website. I don't think it's coming to Canada yet. Right. Probably still due to regulatory approvals because it has oxygen sensor, EKG, ECG, and all these other sensors that need to be approved by the Canadian government before it can enter the country as a medical kind of pseudo-medical device. But for now, it's powered by AI. It's got all the algorithms because Al Gore invented the internet. I'm kidding. It's 7 millimeter wide and it's 2.6 millimeter thick. Now, these are things that they did not announce on the presentation.
But the spec wise, you can get that, right?
Yeah. And it's bevel inwards so that you know how usually the rings, they bevel outwards. So they scratch things. This is bevel inwards so it doesn't scratch anything.
All right, so it's smoother.
It's smooth, right? It's made of titanium. 3 sensors, sleep, activity, and a few more. So probably, your oxygen, etc. sensors. That's probably why they didn't go too much into it because they need regulatory approval for these things to happen. And it's in constant sync with your Samsung Health and unlocks, health data with no subscription, like we mentioned. Oura,
that's great.
Is basically dead now. Like who wants Oura?
Who actually owns or it's connected with the Oura?
Oura also connects to Android. I think it connects in some capacity to Apple Health.
Right.
Okay. So now, because the Android, first of all, I bet you anything that the Galaxy Ring, will only work best with Samsung devices.
Yeah, most
like the watch,
yeah,
and we'll get into
likely,
that a little bit later,
most
right?
Likely, yeah.
Because if I move my watch to even a Pixel device, the experience is not so great.
Right, because it's not in the same ecosystem.
No, it's missing a whole bunch of features, including the ability to take pictures with your camera. It has lacks all of the Samsung Health features. Heck, I can't even find my phone.
Right.
It takes away all of those things, all of the really fun things that you want inside the Samsung ecosystem. All right. Same thing with Pixel watches. Pixel watches have great interactivity with the Pixel series. Works with Samsung Health. Works a little bit better than Samsung works with other things. But I can see that the Galaxy Ring will basically be a device within the Samsung ecosystem with limited compatibility with the Pixel and other Android devices. The other thing that's really, really fun about it is that they did a lot of testing on this device. Apparently, it has been through many, many hundreds of charge cycles and has been beaten to death over the last year to 2 years as they were testing it out. It comes in gold, silver, and black. So if you have a wedding band that's already gold, you might want to go for one of the alternate colors. And if you, funny thing is that if you do go for the gold one, and if you're one of the folks that gets hit on a lot, like maybe perhaps you're like our friend Aaron. He's a guy. He's a very good-looking guy. You can actually change the ring onto your wedding ring finger if you're single. Keeps people away. Maybe. 10 atmosphere water resistance.
Okay.
So that's basically diving level, 100
you can
meters.
swim with it, yeah.
And it comes with a charging case, which is actually very novel. It's like a ring case that's clear, shows you the ring inside. It's clear. It's like a presentation case, and it glows when it's charging up. There's also a residual charge inside the box, so if you put it down when you travel, it gives a little bit more
it's like
of
a little
charge.
stump like stick in the middle, and you put the ring in there.
Yeah.
It looks pretty cool.
If it was a finger, like it would look a little funny. I wouldn't put a finger there because it could be any finger. All right. $399 US is the hardware price, probably closer to 500 Canadian, 549 Canadian when it launches in Canada. Again, no news from the Canadian side quite yet.
Yeah.
And it is shipping on the
24th July.
with everything else. So if you want this device, you might have to buy it at the Samsung store in the US if you're Canadian. If you're not, take advantage of whatever deals. We'll talk about that a little bit more.
I have a question though with the ring, because everybody's fingers are different sizes.
Yeah.
You know, when you go to a jeweler's and they have this ring kind of measurement thing that like a pole, they put the ring on.
How do you size it?
Yeah, how do they size it though?
That's a very good question.
So it must be a custom made thing. Well, it has to be.
For $399, I think that there's probably shims or something like that kind of make it smaller. I didn't have a chance to look at the two, like there's probably two pieces to it that allow it to.
For example, my ring, I got it's wedding band. I had to wait for a week for it to get measured and everything. So they so if you order it, you might have to wait a week or so.
Fingers are actually oval; they're not round.
Yeah.
Right. Like this part's round, but this part is not. It's actually oval.
And you got the bone in the middle, right?
I have a feeling that they probably offer it in a couple sizes, but there's a shim inside that actually closes it down to actually fit the finger. Maybe.
Interesting.
Again, it's not coming to Canada. We don't know enough about it. They were actually even in the presentation, they didn't show a whole lot about it. So yeah, we'll have to see. Okay. Wearables. The next wearable is actually something that I found actually quite amusing. We know that the best smartwatch in the world, according to at least one fruit-shaped company, is the Apple Watch, and the flagship is the Apple Watch Ultra. Now Ultra 2.
Now Ultra 2. That's right. Ultra 2 now.
This is a over $1,000 watch that has a dive computer built into it, is meant to climb Mount Everest, etc., etc. It's not made of aluminium. And did you notice that they were using British people here to give it a Johnny Ive kind of... Anyway, so the Apple Watch Ultra has new competition because the Galaxy Watch Ultra has just been released. If you remember a couple cycles ago, Galaxy Watch 5 Pro, I don't wear it anymore. I actually need to sell it. is not on my wrist anymore because it was lacking some features that I really, really love about the Garmin. I can talk about that in a little bit. But the Apple Watch Ultra and the Galaxy Watch Ultra, they share a lot of similarities.
Right.
Let's talk about the square shape.
Yeah, it's squarer.
Yeah.
Now, squarer.
They call it a bumper system. It's actually a round bezel.
Yeah.
Round bezel watch with titanium bumpers on the side. It's not a square or a rectangular shaped screen. So you still get the round bezel. They also have these watch faces that if you turn it, it looks like a rotating bezel, but it's actually part of the screen.
Oh, okay.
So they've done that. And it has a red mode, which they only brought out in the latest Apple Watch Ultra.
Yeah.
Right? Which didn't exist before.
It's like a night mode thing.
It's a night mode, which coincidentally Garmin has always had.
Yes.
Right? Garmin, their higher watches like the Epics and the Phoenix, they had a red mode of some sorts, right? And it has an Alpine Loop watch band that looks very similar to the Apple one. Comes in the Alert Orange.
That's right, with the orange. Yeah, that's right.
And the watch comes in white, which of course the other Apple doesn't come in. It also comes in a silver, and also a dark gray. So there's more color choices in the watch itself with Samsung, plus color choices with the bands. So you can say that Samsung learned, and they knew that people wanted some variation in the way that their Ultra watches looked, versus everyone on the street having an orange band in the same colored casing.
Yeah, so they wanted a nicer looking watch, something different,
more unique.
Yeah,
more unique.
If you look at some of the more high-end, like expensive watches, the luxury watches, now you see all the usual dial,
they all look the same.
They all look the same, but then you got the really expensive, like, you see those Richard Mille ones?
Yeah, but even then,
they're weird shape, like
you can get a $2,000, over $1,000 Garmin, easy.
Yeah,
you can buy them, right?
The Garmin watches have always been round, right?
They've always been round. That's their thing. And they always offer customization with the watch bands. Their quick fit system, which clicks on. You can have all sorts of different bands for whether you're going out into town, whether you're going on a mountain trip, whether you're flying an airplane, right? Or a yacht. They have that, right? So they've already got that market cornered. And I think that Samsung learned a little bit from them because I'm seeing some similarities with Garmin, and they've done their research, as well as the Apple Watch, which again, the Watch Ultra lacks that distinctiveness. Like yes, it shows that you bought the most high-end Apple product on the wearable lineup, but it doesn't show any uniqueness.
Yeah.
Right? Everyone has the Alpine Loop.
Yeah.
In the same color. Right?
Okay, so with this, you have all the same health features.
Yes.
And anything else? Like
it's got 100 hours in power saving mode, which is actually longer than the Apple Watch Ultra.
100 hours, that would be 72 3 days, almost 4 days.
5 days.
5 days.
5 days, which is actually 2 days less than my Garmin.
Okay.
But this watch has an OLED screen. This one does not. It has a MIP screen. So by technological definition, this one does last longer as a result with all the sensors on.
Right.
This is just a downside of having the OLED screen because it sucks up more power, but it is a touchscreen as well too. It has all those features. It has something called the quick button, which is like the action button.
Action button off the
right.
Apple
so when you
Watch,
push it, the only thing that it does is basically cycle through all of the action sports that you can do, just like the Apple Watch Ultra. Right.
Okay.
Of course, you could probably customize it in the watch. I saw a setting on one of them where you can actually customize what it does. So you could call Bixby if you want. No one calls Bixby. No, maybe you could call Google instead. And also, it's the first watch running a 3 nanometer processor, fastest ever for them, and also Wear OS 5.
Yeah, they also have this dual GPS, right?
Yeah, dual precision GPSs come in all the Garmins.
Okay.
So that's something that they learned. If you have a Garmin watch and you're in a city, you can actually track pretty easily because it's dual precision already.
Right.
The Apple Watch Ultra also has similar dual precision capability because if you're in the jungle, if you're in the city, there's so much brush around, it'll track using the best possible GPS. In my neighborhood, when I'm just using my phone, it gets a little confused. When I have my Garmin watch, it knows exactly where I am.
Okay. So it's more accuracy, basically.
Way more accurate, right?
Okay.
So if you're doing any sort of sports where you have to track back, this is better for sure.
Okay.
In terms of features for cyclists, I mean, Garmin has the market covered for cycling watches because they even make a mount that allows you to clip off your watch and actually put it into a cycle computer click in thing that doesn't use the watch strap. It just clicks right in, so it's secure, and it takes over all of the sensors on your bicycle.
Oh,
pretty neat, right?
Okay.
So I don't know. They did say that if you use a threshold power meter for measuring power, like your crankset or some other pedals, it is compatible with the Watch Ultra. Their Galaxy Watch Ultra, which I'll get to a second why the 5 was such a kind of a lame duck for me. It's the fact that it now measures something called functional threshold power. Now, what that is that it's basically like it's your RPM meter. Basically, it tells you how much power you're outputting, your maximum, and don't mind that over there. We were just trying to do something nice for Winston because his face is all blown out. He's going to move in a little bit closer here and get into the shadow. But anyhow, it's just a way for the watch to give you a functional reading of how much you're putting in, what your maximum output is, as a combination of your heart rate, your respiration, and everything like that. Garmin has been using this for quite some time. And they use this in the Tour de France. Heavy duty cyclists use this to train.
So basically, it'll tell you whether, based on all your health readings, whether you have enough power to go on further or whether you need to step back and take a rest, that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, like if you're attacking a hill and you know that you can't sustain this power, it'll actually tell you what it is, but you can make the decision to actually back off because you're going to blow up.
Right.
So you're hitting the red line. You need to back off, right?
Yeah.
This particular function can predict your functional power threshold within 4 minutes, or a functional threshold power in 4 minutes.
So using AI is reading all this data to tell you, hey, you got enough power to do this, or hey, step back because you're going to over.
It's always going to be an algorithm of some part, but it's going to measure in real time your oxygen, your respiration, your heart rate, and everything, and the power that you're putting into the pedals, because it's using a real power meter, usually integrated into your pedals or into your crank. Inside the bicycle, and it'll give you that information, which is really cool. So cyclists should be very excited if you're in the Samsung Galaxy ecosystem. You're going to get something really cool. And also it has more bioactive sensors, which one of them I think a lot of people really need, and that's the sleep apnea function. It'll actually detect sleep apnea. It's been certified in the US at least, and it will tell you whether or not you really do need a CPAP machine to actually help with your breathing, or you just need to get out there and do some more beneficial exercise or alter some of your health habits. Okay. And this is a whole holistic kind of look at your health from what you eat. There's actually what's called an AGE index, advanced glycation end products. This basically gives you the impact of food on your digestive system.
Oh.
And also your body. So many things. And yes, so Apple looking.
It's turning out to be like one of those what's the thing that they use in Star Trek? It's like a
the biobed. Biobeds.
It's just scan you and you're like, oh yeah, we know what's wrong with you. And
it's not a bad thing to know what's going on. The only thing that I think a lot of privacy experts will say is that it's an awful lot of data to be processing it with Samsung. So that would be my only concern.
Yeah, they mentioned about the new. Well, I would say new. It's all secured by Knox. Is it Knox?
Yeah, they used the Knox symbol. They didn't call it Knox anymore. They didn't actually name it. So it must be something new that they're putting together with a new name, just like Apple names AI something different. But I think they're avoiding calling it that because I think they're coming up with something new.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
LTE only.
Oh, really?
Only LTE. So no Bluetooth version, which I actually like. Because this watch is pointless without LTE. It's got to connect to everything.
Right.
47 millimeter with sapphire glass.
Sapphire glass.
Yeah.
47 millimeter. Okay.
Yeah.
What's the price?
The price is $649 US, roughly 8 something Canadian, 849, I believe.
So it's way cheaper than the Ultra 2 watch from Apple, right?
A lot. Yeah, it's good. It's a good chunk less. And then there's of course the Galaxy 7 watch.
That's the consumer.
It's a consumer watch at $299 for the Bluetooth version. There's an LTE model as well too. That's $299 US by the way.
$299. Okay.
And 3 atmosphere, so it's about 30
meters, yeah, ish.
You know, so it's got a lot of the same Samsung Health back-end benefits, but not the durability, not the
not the advanced sports stuff, right?
It doesn't have the quick whatchamacallit button, right? It's not that. It's not titanium either, okay? So it's not going to be as durable. So if you're adventurous and you're looking for this, out of the two wearables, honestly, I think that I would probably go for the Galaxy Ring whenever it comes. I like that concept.
The Ring, yeah. I like the Ring. Because the watch, it's, I don't know. I mean, I've got the Apple Watch, but I occasionally use it.
I wear my Garmin all the time.
Right.
Mainly because I like what it does for me, because it takes account of everything that I need to, be a better, look after my fitness. I wouldn't say I'm an athlete. So the Ring itself, because it has a 7-day battery life, it gets out of the way. It does its job.
That's right. And you wear it and you're not like, it's like wearing a ring, right? So you're not like, you have to go and charge it every day.
Yeah.
Apple Watch, you could have to charge it every day. Trust me. Even says like
it's annoying.
It is annoying.
It's so annoying.
And that's why I only wear it a few times in a week if I need to go wear it for sports and that. But it's but if the Ultra is like 7 days, that's not bad.
Yeah.
The
Ultra
5 days.
5 days roughly. But that's with all the sensors turned off. So I'm guessing it's going to be at least half that.
Half that.
The Ring is 7 days with everything on. Because to be perfectly honest, if I'm tracking my health stats, I really don't need it when I have my phone nearby.
Yeah.
Right. And if I'm sleeping, my phone is nearby. And guess what? If I'm on the street and walking around, my phone is nearby. So yeah, I think that this is and there's no subscription required. This is the hot item from Samsung.
That's true.
And I wish it was in Canada now, because I would get it now. So the Galaxy Watch Ultra for me, because this is kind of the issue. When I had the Galaxy Watch 5 Pro, battery life was better. It's like 3 days, something like that.
Okay.
It's not bad.
Yep.
Didn't have LTE, would have been worse battery life because of that. And it didn't have the ability to connect to external sensors like a heart rate strap or power meter or any of these other things, which really limited its utility for me as a runner. Because I needed an external heart rate strap, because the pedometer function of that watch wasn't good. The heart rate measurements although okay,
It was off?
It's not a strap.
Okay.
A strap is at your heart. It knows everything. It also measures the variations in your footfall and also your stride as well too from that strap.
Okay.
So to have those advanced metrics not available on a Pro smartwatch kind of sucked. So I hope that as we learn more about the Galaxy Watch Ultra, that we're going to get more connectivity with those types of devices, because I'll tell you what, the reason why I went Garmin is because of the deficits of the Watch 5 Pro.
Yeah, the Garmin's made for sports activities, right? It's been in that business for so many years.
I'd be happier if it worked with everything in my ecosystem, right? And I think that for me, the Watch Ultra is a little expensive. I mean, even the ring is expensive, but the ring I would have with me all the time and I wouldn't even notice it.
Yeah.
And I would shower with it.
But if you think about it, the prices on the watch versus an Apple
it's $1,000, dude.
It's way cheaper.
Canadian.
And as far as innovation is concerned, they're the first one to come up with the ring.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So they were first to the ring. The Watch Ultra, kind of derivative of it was coming. They had to have an Ultra watch, but I still think the Apple Watch in some aspects, like the dive computer functionality, is better if you need it. Okay, moving right along. We've got the Z Fold or Z Fold.
Z Fold.
Z Fold.
Z Fold. I call it Z Fold.
Z in Canada.
Yeah, Z.
Z Fold, which is not a lot of changes here. A lot of talk about AI.
A squarer bezel.
It's actually shorter.
Shorter
and wider.
Wider.
Shorter and wider. So if you have any old cases, you're gonna have to throw those away.
Yeah,
it's not gonna work.
Is it edge to edge almost?
It is edge to edge. And first of all, it is thinner and lighter because they actually did something new. They took the substrate that is underneath that has the screen and everything. They used this really weird kind of like, God, I can't explain it. It's like an STF coating that basically when it bends, it actually gets more malleable as you bend it, but then when it's stiff, when it's actually flat, it actually is solid.
I've seen those things where it's almost like cornstarch. Have you?
Yes, the cornstarch situation, right?
Right.
So this allows them to remove a lot of the layers, which were keeping it from actually bending better. Because I know that some Galaxy users, when they were flipping it back and forth, the screen protector would actually come off and stuff like that. Look,
yours is coming off.
My screen protector has come off. It's just a screen protector. Right. I know that if I rip it off, it's not a big deal.
You can replace it. Right?
I can replace it easily. In fact, I can do it myself if I wanted to. But if you want the good one, Samsung will do it for you. It's like $40.
Okay, it's not too bad. Okay.
So moving right along, it has this new coating. It has a new kind of dialed-in hinge to take advantage of the thinner screen, so it folds even better. They didn't say straight out, but they did say that there are some sort of improvements. They didn't go into details. Kind of sucks because we wanted to know what that was, but they didn't mean it. But because it's got thinner bezels because of this new screen. It also has an improvement in the nits and the dynamic lighting.
Yeah, so brighter.
2600 nits.
That's like, wow, that's really bright.
It's really bright. It'll dial all the way up to that depending on daylight conditions, but it'll also dial it right down dynamically when you're in a darker room. So if you don't need it, you don't need it. Right. One thing that you will love is that the main screen is now 7.6 inches, which is a little bit bigger than the older one.
That's big.
And the cover screen is 6.3 inches, which is not only bigger, but it's also a little bit wider.
Right.
Okay, so that's the cover screen.
Okay. Does it use a stylus?
You can.
It doesn't come with it, right?
I didn't see it.
Okay.
I saw people using it, but is it tucked into the bottom? I think it is. It's just that when they showed it off, it's like
it does come with it, because I remember my brother had the Fold 5. He did come with it. I think they did come with the stylus. Yeah.
It's just weird that they're just assuming that everyone knows. You know, like what if they made it an option like Apple would? Anyway, so with the stylus, it works really well with this new screen. Apparently, it's a lot smoother. It's more doesn't have that floaty feeling. It's just more direct.
I like the next bit you're gonna mention.
Yeah, it's got RTX on board.
I know it's got like ray tracing on. What?
This is where, and this is actually when I was watching the live presentation. This is actually where the presentation stuttered.
Oh yeah,
because it actually froze for a second. So the NPU. Okay, we're gonna do some Apple things now. The NPU is 42% faster with generative AI.
Okay.
The GPU is 19% faster because it's faster for games. And the CPU is 18% faster because it's simply faster.
Simply faster.
Simply faster.
Okay.
The same cameras as last year, but they've sculpted the camera bumps with these aluminum bezels that actually quite sharp, according to some of the people that have actually touched it. It's sharp enough to actually remove the skin.
Oh, really?
Skin cells off of your thumb. So it seems like if you actually smack someone with this thing, it could actually do some damage.
It's nail filer.
Yeah. Nail file level of sharpness or grittiness, right? So no changes in the camera. It's still going to be the same performance as the 5
It's like
series.
a 50 megapixel and stuff like that, right?
It's just going to be enhanced with AI and all these other things, software related things. The battery is 4,400 milliamp hour.
That's similar size as last year. I think they're about the same.
You look that up while we're talking about that. Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, which is going to be more efficient, power efficient and everything, more performance, better performance. It starts at $1899, $2564. Oh my God.
That's
$2564.99 Canadian. This is $100 more than last year.
That's expensive.
$100 more than last generation. It's up to 1 terabyte for more money, obviously. I think I was looking at over $3,000 on $3,400 on the Canadian website for the 1 terabyte. Silver, pink, and navy with some exclusive colors available on the Samsung site depending on the region. Now, for me, this guy feels thinner in the hand. It is stockier. It does have the more durable screen, tweaked hinge so that you get better performance out of that. Is it more durable? Potentially, because of that screen. It's not going to have so many deficits when you're folding it a lot. It seems like it will keep flat better.
It's the same battery.
Same battery?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is actually, it still probably has that vapor chamber inside, which they introduced last time.
Yeah, the vapor chamber. Yep, they got a vapor chamber.
Okay. More on that in a little bit. And they're using more recycled materials, blah, blah, blah. The biggest thing for them was that they are taking advantage of a lot more of the AI features in this.
Yeah.
I didn't write them all down because we were mainly looking at the hardware, but now you have access to all of the generative AI features. They used one feature, which was basically you do a sketch.
Yeah, sketch.
You want it to generate a better sketch. So you take whatever you drew and say, hey, make this better. Figure it out for me. Now, depending on how good of an artist you are, I think it has a lot to do with that. It'll create something amazing. If you're not so good of an artist, it might create something that is unintelligible.
Yeah, he had it was a demo of this guy who drew an Eiffel Tower shaped thing.
He started with a constellation.
Yeah, constellation star.
Oh, it looks like the Eiffel Tower. So he drew an Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, it was scratched.
Yep.
And then the AI just came up with this Eiffel
multiple
Tower.
different versions of it.
And then he wanted to add some color in there, and then the AI started
and then
adding,
put himself into it.
Yeah, and then he added color and yes.
Yeah.
AI.
And then once you're done, it'll give you the options. It'll also say generated with AI in the bottom left-hand corner. So people will know that it was monkeyed with.
Yeah.
Even though
and
you
then
started.
another picture was a photo
Yeah.
of the river with the Eiffel Tower in the background, and he drew a picture of a sketch, a boat.
Yeah. A really crappy boat. So I guess it's pretty good at figuring stuff out. So he just put the boat in.
And the AI just put a nice boat in the river.
And randomly, we have Sydney Sweeney showed up.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it was really, really awkward.
It was awkward because
super awkward.
Because she wasn't there to do anything. She wasn't presenting. She didn't use the phone. Well, I didn't see her use the phone, but
she was just a face.
Yeah, it was just hi, hello,
hi, hi.
Great
I'm
presentation
here in Paris. Hi.
Oh yeah, they're in Paris because the Olympics coming starting soon.
Olympics.
Yeah,
they are the official phone of the Paris 2024 Olympics.
Yeah.
This is why they are one of the flagship sponsors of the event.
Yeah.
So that's coming up very
That's
soon.
what I like about Samsung events. They fly all over the place. One time it was in Seoul, Korea, and it's in Paris, and another time it's another place.
Yeah.
Whereas Apple is just at their Apple, I don't know, whatever.
I do think that they overdid the Britishness of the whole thing.
They could have had some French people there, right?
They really messed it up, I think. They really messed it up. Okay. awkward and more British, let's move on to the Galaxy Z Flip or Z Flip 6.
Now I'm interested in this one because remember earlier on in our episodes podcast, I wanted to get one really, a foldable phone, like a flip, right? I've been holding back, I've been like Flip 4, Flip 5, now Flip 6. Very interesting with AI. Go on.
So they can't afford BTS anymore.
Oh, that's right.
So they got this copy. I can't even remember this band's name, but they look like BTS.
Yeah,
a
with
lot.
less members. I think they had 4 members.
Five members.
5 members, yeah.
And they even had the guy with the gray hair and everything. Like, they almost look the same.
Yeah.
Anyway.
A cheaper version.
The cheaper version. And it got way more awkward and way more British. In fact, this girl that they used for the presentation, she actually used an American accent. I don't think she was true British. She went American all of a sudden, and then she came back. I caught her. I caught her. So she was faking it. Anyway, so the new Galaxy Z Flip 6 now uses, it's basically a foldable S24 base model because it has a 50 megapixel sensor now.
Yes.
Now it has 10x zoom, but I don't know if it's optical because they really were kind of nebulous about that.
They didn't show the photo, all the photo features of the phone.
No. So if the S24 can zoom 10x, then this is also optical. If it cannot, then it's not. Yeah. Maybe you can find that out, and we'll keep going on this. So is it digital or optical? Which is going to find out on the S24 base model, but it has flex cam again, which is basically this function where you can flip it sideways, and then you have all the access to all of the buttons on the side here, while the lenses are like this. So it's basically this function.
Oh, like a camcorder.
Like a camcorder, right? So camcorder style, you've got access to all the buttons and everything like that. If they've supercharged it because now it has an auto zoom function. So if you actually set it up in the zoom mode or in the selfie mode, it'll actually zoom out to get you into the shot.
Right. So the bigger screen in the front also was able to...
It'll frame you. It'll reframe you because of this. This is a little bit useless because it's better than the old one, but still having all the space here will allow that to be more useful. It says
here S24 has a 5 times optical and 10 times hybrid.
Hey,
zoom.
Not bad. Okay, so 5x, so at least 5x optical.
10 times hybrid zoom.
Okay. It's got 50 megapixels to work with, so it can't be that bad. So in case you're wondering.
Grab that phone again. Right. One of the features, I'm not sure if you're going to mention it later on, is the translate. Check it out.
Yes.
So
live translate.
So I'm holding the phone like this. I could be typing in my language, English, for example. I'm in Spain. I don't know Spanish. So on the screen in the front then, the guy will see my translated text.
But why type? It's multimodal, so you can actually talk to it.
You could talk to it, and then the speaker somewhere will actually speak it out as well.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It's part of the live translate.
It's like a
universal translator.
It's like a universal translator, tricorder, Star Trek style. Oh, I like that now.
Yeah.
I could get that. I'm sold. I gotta get it.
You may want to put the brakes on that because we're going to talk about the deals at the end. Okay. So instant slow-mo. So if you do any video of any sorts, like they were doing with the fake BTS band, I don't know who they are. I feel so bad. They seem like they were really talented. But it'll generate additional frames using probably generative AI. And it'll actually slow-mo things for you. It'll even do these it's like the 3D images that you could do on Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah. So it'll do those things as well too.
The 3D.
The 3D thing. So it'll do all those things using generative AI, using what they call the new what's that? The new visual engine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. And then this is great. I like this part. This is the best part of the hardware is that it now has a vapor chamber. Because of the new thinner screen from the Fold, which is using that technology that folds and gets more flexible, but when you pop it open, it stiffens up. This now has a 4,000 milliamp hour battery, which is 400 less than the Z Fold 6.
Yes, but still 4,000 on a compact foldable device. That's not bad.
What was it on the old one? It was more like 36,
36, something
like that. Yeah. It was in the threes.
It was It was lower.
It was never 4.
You know, there definitely wasn't 4,000.
It also has a stronger hinge, which I can attest to was needed because I've broken the hinge on my 4 before. So it is a brand new, more durable hinge as a result of the more thin screen. And of course, because with the more thin screen, the vapor chamber now fits in there, which means that, and quite often my Z Flip 5G will actually get a little bit warm when it's doing things. The vapor chamber will hopefully stop it from throttling because it does throttle. The funny place that it throttles is actually when it's being used as Android Auto. It'll actually heat up because it's doing so many things. And it's one of the things that I've noticed is that after about an hour doing Android Auto, and this is with any phone, it seems like, it gets hot and then it just doesn't want to connect sometimes. You have to kind of wait for a few seconds, then it comes back on. Really annoying, especially if you're driving. So customizations are now available for the flip screen. Right, like you were saying, there was the AI function, the true kind of the universal translator, which is really neat.
Yeah, like that.
Samsung Wallet is also available now on that without opening the thing. There's customizations where you can do AI generated effects on the images that you put on the cover screen.
So that's right. You can buy a cover for your phone, for your flip phone, and whatever that color or pattern that cover is, it will then translate onto the screen of the front screen.
These are like cheap. They have a bunch of them on the Samsung store. But what I liked about the new features is that if you are like, for example, time of day, you have an image, it's of you and it's sunny, but when it gets to night, it'll actually darken the image for you like it was night. But the fun thing is that you can also turn on this function which actually observes the weather patterns outside. So if it's snowing, it'll actually snow in your image.
That's
it'll also rain in your image. And it'll also get sunny in your image, which is using all of the AI and everything like that.
That's interesting.
Really fun.
Fun.
And about this time here after, this is where all of a sudden the British girl that they used went American all of a sudden and picked that up. After that she was talking about this and then she goes to live. Maybe that's why she went American all of a sudden, because she was about to talk about the live translate, which you've already mentioned. Works in 20 languages by end of year, 16 right now. Punjabi, Korean, were some of the features.
What I've noticed over the years, way back, like 15, 20 years ago, Google Translate was It was shit. It was crap. It was no good.
But now it does Cantonese.
My God, it does Cantonese. Now, Cantonese is one of those languages.
It's a very difficult language.
It's a very difficult language. It's like 9 tones. It's not your native like Mandarin, right? In mainland China.
Yeah.
Hong Kong, of course, speak Cantonese, and in Guangdong area as well. And this language is spotted all over the world, of course, in Vancouver, Canada, in
tones
UK.
are very important.
Yeah, and also in Singapore and Malaysia and all that kind of stuff. So Cantonese, right? Hong Kong. So it was a very unique language. And some people say it's a dying language, but hey, it's been translated. This is really good. I like it. Yeah. And I'll tell you why I found out that translation is getting better is because I'm using the software called Captions.
Okay.
They use AI, believe it or not, right?
Yeah.
So it transcribes like words, speech into text. And I'm filming myself doing a little kind of like Cantonese spoken message for my brother, right? For like say happy birthday and stuff like that in Cantonese. And I put it into captions, hit the transcribe button or translate to text. It actually got all my words correct in English.
Very good.
Unbelievable. Of course, it's using some sort of AI, probably from Google, whatever. Yeah.
Also, as a segue, this particular app, Live Translate, will be available through other apps.
Yeah,
It'll be accessible. One of the people has to have the Galaxy on, but the other person on the other end will also get the benefit of that through select apps. I didn't see very many of them, but I'm going to assume that Zoom and some other things will be part of that as well too. Also, Flex Mode now allows both screens to have a conversation, like Winston mentioned, where it's big enough that the other person will see it, and then you can talk to it because it's multimodal. Right. You can talk to it or type to it. It'll give the person on the other end the language that they understand, and then when they speak back to you, it'll translate it back on your side. So it's dual screen in a very, very unique way that is actually very useful. It is nearly the same size as the Z Flip 5. It's just a little bit thinner by about 1 millimeter because of that drop in the thickness of the screen cover.
Yep.
You know, also the screen overall, because it's missing a bunch of layers now.
Yep.
Uses the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 with a vapor chamber. It means it's going to be better performance. And of course, they didn't mention a whole lot about battery life, but I have a feeling that because of that bigger battery, it's just going to be a whole lot better.
Oh yeah, yeah,
You know?
definitely. Yeah.
With my phone, I get a whole day. It's fine. I get even more of the day if I put it on battery saver mode, which I don't like doing. But I'm usually good till 3-4 o'clock on the original charge. If I put it on battery saver mode, it's good until like past dinner time. Okay, so 12 gigabytes of RAM in this new version, which means it's going to be much, much more powerful. You need all that RAM for all of the...
What's the current size on yours?
I think it's like only 8.
8? Okay.
Yeah,
So you got 12. That's good. That's good.
12 is good mainly because if you're using generative AI or AI models running on the phone, you need all of that extra RAM to actually do that. I think it's very important, and they talked about doing as much as possible on the device because of the more powerful NPU, etc. It's going to start at $1099. The maximum model is 512 gigabyte, which I have here as well too. I haven't filled it yet, but hopefully I never fill it because then that means I just have to get a bigger phone now. So that's about $1,462.99 Canadian for the base 256 gigabyte model. Blue, mint, yellow, silver, and silver shadow are the base colors. There are also unique colors on the website depending on region. In Canada, there's a carbon fiber black version and also a white version. I think there's a pink one as well too. So depending on the region, you may not be able to get these, but these are exclusive to the online store only.
Wow.
Now, moving on, let's look at Buds. Okay.
Yeah,
now,
Buds.
Buds have been the same for quite some time. They never had the ear stems. That wasn't their thing ever. They sit inside the ear. Okay. Now, love them or hate them, I didn't like the Buds 2 because they kept popping out of my ears. I needed to actually buy $13 stems that actually stuck out a little bit that went into my ear more because it sat outside of my ear canal too much where if I ran, because I can't even run with them, they literally fall out of my ear.
Okay. So you needed those fittings, for the year. Okay.
So this year, they've gone to a stem design which is reminiscent of the original iPods.
Yeah, that's the thing that sticks out a little bit. Yeah.
So they have not one, but 2 versions of it. So they have an open ear version, which is basically the iPod, the original, AirPods, the original AirPods with the kind of the black netting.
Okay.
So it looks like that. That's the open air design. So it's it sits on the ear.
Okay.
And then they have the Buds 3 Pro, which actually sits inside the ear canal with these blades, is what they call. They're not ear stems, they're blades because they're sculpted.
They look good though.
They look great.
They look good.
Silver. They also have these light accents on the outside, which tells people that you are not talking to them right now.
That's true because I've seen people on Apple with and they're talking by themselves. I think, who's doing this? And there's AirPods. There's no lights or nothing. It's just a white little piece. AirPods.
There's no indication to the outside world that you are speaking to someone. With this, I bet you with software, what could happen is that this actually reacts to your voice. Maybe? If it reacts to your voice, like it pulses with your voice as you're talking, then you know that you shouldn't talk to me because I'm on a call. Pulsing.
Yeah,
I'm doing something.
I'm on a call.
I'm vibing with someone else right now, not you. Okay. One of the things that, and a lot of people have been saying this is, first of all, we have to talk about the change from the British person to the French person. I thought that was very interesting. So, British obviously don't know anything about sound, so they have to change to this French person to speak about the sound quality of the new Buds 3 Pro. And they are saying that it's hi-fi quality because of the 2 individual speakers. It's an individual woofer and an individual tweeter, but there's also a amplifier, digital amplifiers that power each individually, which allow it to adapt to the sound, whether you want it like loose or tight in your ear. It'll adapt your ear canal.
It'll adapt to that, yeah.
Okay.
And that word hi-fi, I haven't heard of that word so long.
Yeah.
Everyone's like Wi-Fi, and the hi-fi name, the word, kind of went.
It's reserved for the French.
It just died. But it's coming back. It's coming back.
So now that this is all in there, all this technology in there, it really increases the quality of the wireless audio. Like wireless audio gets a lot of bad rap because of the latency and everything like that. It seems that And I have to listen to these as well too. But most people agree, including MKBHD, like Dave 2D. They all both say like, "Wow, like I put these on and this is amazing."
The noise activation is good, and also it recognizes ambulance and certain traffic noises like emergency noises, so it comes up.
I just hope it's just not French ones, because that is the only example that they use. So hopefully it recognizes ambulance and emergency vehicles from around the globe.
Yeah.
Because that would be silly if you were out on the street and it doesn't pick that up.
It will probably just pick it up from the AI cloud somewhere.
But it knows jackhammers and other things. So it'll remove those things.
Remove
okay?
those noises.
Smart. Left and right buds are actually labeled. There's actually a blue and an orange symbol on the bottom, which corresponds to the ones inside the case.
Okay.
There are some specs about battery life and whatnot, but we didn't really catch that. I'm sure that it'll be in the specs eventually.
Yeah.
Up to, maybe you can look that up while I go through the pricing. So the Galaxy Buds 3 Open Type, which is only in white, looks like the AirPods, the original ones with the black netting for the speakers on board. Those are $179. The Galaxy Buds Pro 3, which is the closed ear design, are $249. Canadian pricing will be about double that, so at least that's fair. I did see them for $349 and $299 respectively, and there are some promos going on that we'll talk about in a sec.
Yeah. Up to 30 hours.
Okay, that's okay.
With ANC up to 26.
That's not bad. So the ANC is actually doing a lot less processing these days, so it's becoming a lot more efficient. It used to be like such a deficit when you turn on ANC. Now, not anymore.
The charging case has a 550 milliamp battery.
Same as my Watch 5 Pro.
And each Buds Pro has a 53 milliamp battery in each of them.
Okay, so you can get about 10 charges.
Yeah.
Not bad. Okay, so here's the thing. We've got a new ring. It's not available in Canada yet.
Yep.
We've got a new Watch Ultra, which is available in Canada with LTE only. It's almost $1,000. We've got the Watch 7, right? Which is basically the cheaper version without the titanium.
Yep.
It has all the other features except for the it doesn't have 10 atmospheres, only 3. But it has all the latest features. I don't know if it connects to all the same devices like the Watch Ultra. We'll have to keep an eye on that, because it was really bad on the Watch 5 Pro. It doesn't connect to anything. We also have the 2 flips, right? More durable screens, better
Z Flip
hinges.
6, yep.
It seems like they're refining things this year, but the big story is, of course, not only the fact that the price went up on the Fold, is bringing Rick Osterloh from Google on stage.
Yeah.
And he's the product guy.
That's right.
He makes the pixels. He's the pixel guy.
He's the Pixel guy. Okay.
Right? And he brought him on stage. So what does that mean? To me, it means that they are a value partner. They are a separate ecosystem.
But it's
what
AI
else?
though, right?
And that the focus now is being a partner of the Gemini.
Yeah,
The
Gemini
AI.
was mentioned. He was the Samsung going to be using Gemini throughout.
Yep.
So
Now, Gemini isn't free. It has a cost.
because it's not free,
Right? If you want to add Gemini features to your Google Work Suite accounts, there's a charge.
Yeah.
Right now they're doing a free trial for anyone who wants to give the go, but there is a charge.
Yeah.
And the integration inside of all of these new Samsung Galaxy AI devices is quite deep. So the recorder function, the audio recorder function works inside Notes. It'll actually transcribe everything parallel. So if you have the Galaxy Fold 6, they were demoing this, it'll transcribe your audio, and then it'll do a generative AI version of it, like a story.
That's right. Yeah.
It's kind of cool that way, and that's definitely a Gemini feature.
And you can send replies to email and use the AI to come up with the replies.
Yep.
Really
Prompt
quick.
the reply.
Yeah.
Edit as needed. In fact, they were the presenter, the British sounding lady that they hired for this one gig, that was replying to the Google lady from Mountain Valley. She said that she basically generated most of the things. It sounded pretty good. She was going to send it. I don't know how I feel about that. So all devices, also worth noting, all devices are 7 years of security updates.
Yeah, they mentioned 7 years
of OS updates.
Do you trust that?
No. No, because
Just me, bro.
you're gonna be throwing away these devices. Not throwing away. That's a bad thing to say. You're not going to be owning these devices for that long. This upgrade cycle every 2 to 3 years is pretty normal.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I say 3 years max. I mean 3-4 years. Then you need to change. Really,
it's good value for people that are picking up in the secondary market. I think that's worth saying that this makes the Samsung devices more valuable now.
Well, 7 years.
Also, the Google devices are also 7 years too.
But you think about it. Just take for example the S24, right?
Yeah. S24 will have 24.
So plus 7 years, it'll be like the S. What is it? S31.
Yeah. It'll be something like that. Yeah.
The Z Flip or Z Fold 6 plus 7 years will be the Z13.
Yeah. Yeah, or it'll be something else by then because it'll be ZX. or
That's 7 years. It's just too much. I mean, no, I don't think that's gonna work.
Yeah, and with Knox and everything, they didn't call it Knox. They must be doing something different with that. Just like just like Apple Intelligence, they renamed Intelligence. One thing that is very, I would say creepy, but kind of useful is the fact that let's just say that your Samsung Health. Giving you an example, Samsung Health, they mentioned this example. Samsung Health now knows everything about how you're sleeping, how you're eating because of that AGE thing, how you feel overall, your health. And if you're going to go on a spin class, it gave this example, and it's scheduled in your scheduler, and your battery is low, it can suggest that you actually cancel that.
By the way, when you say battery, it's not your phone battery, it's your body's ability to
and this is
do things, extra things.
It's out of 100. Garmin has this. I think Apple does something similar, but this is literally your fuel gauge at the beginning of the day when you start, whether or not you had a good sleep. You don't always start at 100%. You might start at 75% because you only got 2 hours of sleep. And then throughout the day, as you stress yourself out, it will deplete this battery to the point where you have to recharge again at night.
And then you drink 3 cups of coffee, you might be feeling okay, but then the afternoon or early evening, you have that crash, then your body's just totally fucked.
Naps are something that do restore you, even restful periods. It does measure that as well too, just like Garmin does, right? So if you have an afternoon intense heavy workout session that you've got scheduled in, it may suggest and allow you to reschedule everything based on your calendar. Now, that's really deep integration.
It is.
Right?
It knows what you're up to. Your body.
And this is what they're getting at, is that they're going to have a holistic, content aware image of you that is mostly done on your phone. And again, they say mostly done on your phone, but aspects of that will hit the cloud and come back. To do further analysis, right? Apple says that it's all on your device, but it's actually hitting their servers and coming back as well too. Because it's not AI, it's Apple Intelligence.
Apple Intelligence. Apple holds the key to your information.
Right? So I think that this, whatever they use the Knox symbol, but I think that Samsung is going to be doing something similar.
The only thing that you could be, I suppose, I would say content with is that the data that is stored is in a private cloud. So it's not public, and only you with your credentials, whether it's 2-factor or 3-factor, whatever, or biometric.
Your biometric footprint, your health footprint.
Will have that. Will only have access to that information. Nobody else will. So
because your heart rate variability, your heart rate, your profile
is
can
unique.
Only be you.
Yeah, it's unique.
Right?
Yeah,
like you cannot have the same health stats as someone else.
Exactly. You won't.
Right?
So your health data is unique to you. So I suppose you could use that as a identity kind of security, I suppose.
So here's the thing. We've got all these new products, and let's talk about promos. I went to the site this morning. I tried to get trade-in values for everything like that. And first of all, the site was crashing because everyone was on it.
But it's not available till the 24th, right? But you can still have early access.
Pre-order.
Pre-order.
You can pre-order things.
Okay.
So it'll ship on the 24th. You can pre-order now.
All right.
And for the first time, I didn't feel like I wanted to buy anything because, number one, there were no promos for previous devices this year. Okay, you don't get any trade back bonuses. You got nothing
Nothing at all.
at all. So I'll give you some examples. Galaxy Z Flip 4.
Okay.
Okay, it's not the 5. 5 gets a
It's-
little bit more money.
Okay.
Only worth $210.
But you only bought that a couple of years ago, and it's like how much? No,
I
less.
paid- it's only $210
$210 Canadian.
as a trade-in.
Okay. Trading.
Whereas last year, when
Yeah.
when Samsung was asking people to trade in stuff, I almost got the 5 because they gave me almost half
Wow.
off the phone.
Okay.
Remember those promos? It's like extra $350
Oh
bonus,
yeah, yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like that.
Yeah.
Zip, zero, nothing this year. Nothing.
Nothing offered.
Nothing this year. Nope, nothing.
You checked it out.
Yep. Guess what? My Watch 5 Pro,
Yeah.
guess how much they gave me back for that?
From last year.
Yeah.
How much?
Well, the Watch 5 Pro is 2 years old now
Okay.
because this is 7.
Yeah.
$40 as a trade-in.
It's not a lot. Is that good?
That's an embarrassment. That is insulting. That's insulting.
Is it because
Samsung?
is it because they just want to do the recouping their costs for their AI investment, or
Well, there's a reason why 2 Google executives showed up is because they paid them enough money to show up. And because, like we mentioned, Gemini costs money. There's a license fee to be paid for every single Samsung device.
That's true.
Back to Google to be able to have these features on there, right? It's not a free feature, right? So I think that, but still, they were giving out $350 credits, $250 credits. Even the coupon code that they gave this year, which is supposed to be $175 up to $175 off, is split up in this fashion: $100 off a smartphone only, $50 off a smartwatch, and $25 off buds. That's it, right? So if you apply that coupon, you're only buying buds. The max you'll get is $25, $50 if you're
Yeah.
buying a smartwatch, $100 if you're getting a smartphone.
and the trade-in, the value isn't worth.
It's not worth it. You might as well
Yeah.
hang on to your device. So there's no discounts. There's no competitive trade-in. If you buy a Z Flip or Z Fold right now, no discount on the device, no double memory offers. The only offers that I saw is that you are going to get 2 years of coverage for half price, or the first year free, second
Yeah.
year half price.
Yeah.
I would recommend that. And
Oh, yeah, definitely.
you can get the Watch Ultra for like 30% off or something like that. And then you can get the Buds Pro 3 or Buds Pro for 30% off. If you get the watch if you get the watch at the same time and everything like that,
Yep.
you also get a free watch strap, which is worth at most $100 retail. So this year, in terms of net cost, like I added everything up that I might have wanted, which included the Watch
Yeah.
Ultra,
How much would have you spent?
the Buds 3 Pro
Yeah. Yeah.
with Buds 3 Pro with the charging case is a bonus with the dangly thing. It's a clip-on case that they're offering. The Watch 5 Ultra, Watch 7. Watch 7 Ultra,
Watch
technically.
7, yeah.
Galaxy Watch 7 Ultra. That was with the discount because I got the Flip. 512 gigabyte, of course, because I'm using a 512 right now, and also the double warranty on both devices. I was still paying in the insulting trade-in, $210 for my Galaxy, which is still completely useful, and also my piddly $40 for the Watch 5 Pro. I was paying $22,098 or something like that plus tax.
So well over almost 2,500.
New watch, new phone, everything. But it's like they never existed.
But do you got to think about, yes, you got some insulting trades in.
That's insulting.
You got a little bit of discount if you buy those devices.
Remember when I got this?
Yeah.
You remember how much this was?
You
It was
literally
$1,000 for everything.
Yeah, you literally had like $500 off, right? Or something like that.
No, it was way more than that.
You had well over $500 off.
I had well over $1,000 off for everything because I got the watch, I got the headphones, and I got the phone.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
But that's probably maybe that couple of years ago is when they wanted to suck the people in to that ecosystem, that foldable ecosystem that that kind of now the AI ecosystem, right? But compared to Apple's prices, it's still cheaper, right? And Apple doesn't give you offers anyway.
It means I can wait.
Yes, it means you can wait. True. But you got the Ring. That's unique, and they're the only one that does
Not
it.
available in Canada.
They have AI now.
I don't care. I got it on this thing anyway because they said select devices by the end of 2024 would have it.
Oh, you might with an iOS.
I also have a Pixel
Android
7a, which we'll get it as well too.
Okay, yeah, you can wait.
There is no reason for me to get this. If you have a Pixel, you're gonna have all these features anyway. And if you also already have a Galaxy S23, S24. Possibly S22 or some of the fan edition FE devices or Flip or Fold 5 or 4. They're still yet to release that list, but I bet you anything you're going to get most of the generative AI features anyhow. Yeah. So where you are right now is a good place. And and if you don't have one of these new devices, you're not getting 7 years, you're getting 4 years. Down to, I think it was like the S22 series. Everything else is like, it depends.
Yeah.
Right. Not a year to buy for me. I'm not doing it.
We'll see, because I was thinking to get the S24, but now they got the Zip Flip, whatever you call it. I might consider it. Depends.
Yeah, I'm not doing it this year. I think we're gonna have to head into the 7 before I buy, or even lucky number 8 before I buy again. And you know what? If they had just offered me.
Maybe they will. Maybe they will. Maybe they'll put an email out like next week.
Because their sales suck because no one wanted to do it?
No. I mean,
last year, the sales were hyper because of those trade-in values.
Yeah.
This year, for the very first time, they will not have the excitement that they did in the previous years.
They didn't announce the pre-orders on the presentation. They didn't say pre-order now. It just said it'll be available 24th.
Yeah.
So they might send an email tomorrow or next day.
Well, we'll have to find out. But until then, this is our podcast show checking out the Samsung Galaxy Unpacked event. This is our first podcast away from the series of awesome interviews from our Computex Taipei 2024 coverage. Last week we talked to Mike Petrins, is now has a business building custom PC cases.
That's right.
His first,
congrats.
I guess his mass production case. His first mass production case.
Yeah.
So congrats
limited
to him.
to about 100 pieces because it's a limited edition run.
It's limited, but still more than he normally does, which is one piece.
Yeah, definitely.
And next week, we're also going to potentially be either talking about EVs, or we're going to be talking about our friend from Mike's Tech Shop. If you want to know what that is, you'll have to tune in.
That's MTS Solutions.
Yeah, and we're coming up on episode number 100. This is
almost
as of today. This is episode 98. That means that 99 and 100 are coming, and episode 100 will be a special one because we're going to be sharing you all of our tips on how to
reach that figure.
Yeah, run a podcast in 2024. That'll be our gift to everyone. That'll be episode 100. So 101 will hopefully be something fun and exciting as well too.
We're gonna do a 101 on Taipei. Hey, that's a good one.
We didn't do one on Taipei, but that would have been a good idea. So we'll have to wait again. Until next time, Winston, where can people find us?
Yes, definitely on our podcast show and YouTube exclusive. And new shows will be launched every Wednesday at noon.
And don't forget, you have to, if you're on Google Podcasts right now, you have to switch over to YouTube Music because YouTube Music is taking all of the podcasts from Google Podcasts and they're putting it in one place. So we're actually going to be sharing the same space as Taylor Swift.
Woo!
Yep. So if you search for Taylor Swift, you'll find her. But if you search for our podcast show on YouTube Music, you'll also find us every Wednesday at noon with a brand new episode in an audio format on that platform.
Oh, great.
Or also
on the audio format.
On the audio format.
Wow.
Or also on regular YouTube with the video with our smiling faces. And if you are looking at Threads, we're there as well too because Elon Musk kicked us off Twitter.
That's right. And I noticed we're more active on Threads now. We're more actively on Threads.
We do what we can. And of course, Instagram at our podcast show. We often release, fun images of some of our guests and also a little bit more background on how we met them and a little bit more of a teaser on what's in the podcast that you need to watch. So until next time,
So
Bye bye.
Bye bye.